my YouTube family. What is good? Yours truly, Marv, back for another episode of Marvin's Room. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. To the new subscribers, welcome to the channel. I wanted to hop on here today and talk to you guys and address some things that I'm seeing in the LOA community around certain affirmations. I wanted to give you guys my insights on some of these affirmations and how I feel about them, and why I personally don't really recommend these affirmations when working with people. I know it's clickbait titles. I know you guys really love clickbait titles and getting your ex back in 24 hours or getting them to message you in 24 hours, or you guys are putting deadlines and you're on these big time frames for certain things. But I want to let you know why I personally don't go about manifesting things that way, but especially when it comes to a specific person. I know there's a lot of things on the internet, when you hear people make their YouTube videos about get them to chase you, get them obsessed with you, get that text in 24 hours and all these other things. And I get it. Everybody starts at a certain place when you first come into this manifesting world, or when you feel like you lose somebody and they're literally your breath of fresh air and you feel like you're suffocating. You can't breathe without this person, or whatever the case may be. Like, I get it. We all have different starting points. And for a lot of people that come into this field, this is where they start. They try to think, how can I get this person back as fast as I can in order to fulfill a need that I have? But the more that I've learned about manifestation and what manifestation truly is, in my opinion, the more that I started to shy away. And me personally, I never did those types of affirmations, even back at the time years ago, however many years ago, when I was testing the law. Like Neville said, I was testing it and I was trying to manifest a specific person. I was testing it and I never did those types of affirmations and stuff like that to try to get somebody obsessed or do whatever the case may be. Now, with that being said, I'm not throwing no shade. I don't want no smoke from nobody. I'm not throwing no shade at anybody that's out there that's practicing this way. I'm not throwing no shade at nobody out there that's teaching this way. Just know that, to me personally, that type of manifesting on that level does not work for me. And I don't work that way with clients that I work with one-on-one to help them manifest things, or specifically a specific person. Now, with that being said, that's not to say that it doesn't work. Maybe that type of manifesting does work for some people. I just know for me personally, and for the way that I teach, that style doesn't work for me. And I know my good friend Agnes, for those that watch Agnes's channel, I know she doesn't teach that way, right? The way that we teach and go about things is all about you, your self-love, your self-concept, from a spiritual level, from a level of real, pure love, unconditional love. Also, too, not this type of materialistic surface level love, because I believe a lot of times nowadays with the law of attraction, law of assumption, even in dating coaches and certain people that are teaching this stuff, whether you have a license or don't have a license, I believe a lot of this stuff is becoming extremely, extremely self-centered. A lot of the self-love practices that people are doing, I believe it's being taken out of context, and people are becoming extremely self-centered, extremely narcissistic with how they are viewing themselves. And I get it. It's easy to kind of fall into that trap when trying to manifest certain things. And it's easy to get into that trap, especially when you have a favorite person that you're always watching, especially when you're in a desperate situation, when you feel like, oh, I need this person back. I can't breathe without them. It's so easy to fall down that path of saying those types of affirmations like, oh, my person is so obsessed with me. Oh, my person can't live without me. Oh, my person is constantly texting me, or even doing self-love affirmations when you say things like, I am first best. I am first best. I am always loved. Everybody loves me. In my opinion, you could be saying those affirmations from a place of real, pure, unconditional love, or you could be saying those affirmations from a place of ego. And if you are saying those affirmations from a place of ego, please understand your true self will know the difference. Your true self, your higher self, as Florence Scovel Shinn talks about, that she talks about a lot, the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and the superconscious mind. Please understand your superconscious mind, your higher self knows if you're lying to yourself when you say those types of affirmations. It knows that you're really trying to get instead of being a giver. Because again, in this law of attraction, law of assumption world that we're in right now, it's teaching a lot of you guys to always try to get. It teaches you guys get. It's all about, what can I get from this relationship? When can I get my specific person to text me? When can I get them obsessed with me? But what you guys are missing is, what about the giving part? Because relationships, love, life in general, in my opinion, is a two-way street. So a lot of you guys, when you come into this work trying to manifest a specific person, big problem I'm seeing is you guys are always trying to get. You're so busy trying to suck love out of people instead of giving them love, sending them light, wishing them well, even if they're with a third party, etc. And I know a lot of you guys want to hear that, but this is true. And like I was saying, law of attraction, law of assumption is becoming so self-centered, and it's turning into a religion where you're putting this coach against that coach. Oh, I don't listen to this coach no more because this coach said this. Oh, I don't listen to this coach no more because this coach said this. Listen, understand there's a time and place literally for everything. There's a time and place for each coach. In my opinion, and I've said this in past videos in the past, I believe all of us that are in this field, that are teaching certain things, I believe we're right in our own respective ways. I believe a lot of us are right in what we're saying. It's just a matter of, are you ready to hear that message, or are you ready to hear another person's message? Are you ready to hear my right? Are you ready to hear what I consider right in manifesting? Or are you still over here listening to this coach or this person and listening to what they believe is right? Because some of you guys are stuck in ways to where, like, and I've had this working with people one-on-one. When they work with me, they'll say, oh, Marvin, I couldn't have heard this message from you 6 months ago, or last month, or a year ago, whatever the time frame is. They say, I couldn't have heard it because I was so obsessed with getting my person back, or I was so obsessed with getting, money quickly, or the new job, or whatever. They tell me all the time, I receive your message now. I understand what you mean. I know what you're trying to say. But 6 months ago, I would not, by any stretch of the imagination, would have agreed with you, because I was so stuck on this coach or so stuck on this method. And this is, a lot of people that follow Neville. I know so many people that follow Neville, which is why one of the reasons why I left a lot of Neville groups and I left Facebook groups altogether and stopped doing a lot of that stuff, is because a lot of people would be in the comment sections and just attacking people for listening to other coaches, or listening to an Abraham Hicks or a Joseph Murphy or a Florence Scovel-Shin or whatever, not understanding that all of these guys are right and they all are bringing something to the table. You may not be ready to hear Florence's way of understanding the law because you're so caught up on Neville. Neville is your God. You're worshiping Neville, that you're so blind to the fact that you can't hear, oh, when Florence says under grace in a perfect way, she actually is right. Because what if I do get my manifestation, but it's not in a perfect way? Now what? See, these are things a lot of people don't think about. So you may be only on Neville's reception to hear what he has to say, but understand there may be a time and place that comes, however long that may be, where you will start to be receptive to what Florence has to say. You'll start to be receptive to what a Catherine Ponder may have to say. And all of these other great teachers, Abraham Hicks, you'll be receptive when Abraham Hicks talks about vibration and being in alignment and being in the vortex. Because understand, all of us are right. But to get back to what I was saying, me personally, I highly don't recommend, when I work with people one-on-one, I don't recommend people to use these types of affirmations that will cause them to kind of look at themselves as being better than another person or being better than people in general. Because I believe nowadays in LOA and law of assumption, we're breeding more people to become more narcissistic. And it's happening unknowingly. Like we're unknowingly doing it because we're trying so hard to manifest, but we don't realize we're trying to manifest from the ego instead of manifesting from the true higher self, because those are two different things. And when you get manifestations based on the ego, that's when a lot of times people manifest things and they realize, oh shit, I really don't want this. Because a lot of you guys are in the process of manifesting things and you're not going to realize it until you get it. Once you get it, you're going to be like, yo, This is not what I thought it was. I don't want this no more. And that's only because of you. And why is it because of you? It's because you were outside of the vortex. You were out of alignment. You weren't aligned with your true self. You didn't know what you really wanted. You thought you knew what you wanted, and you got it. And now that you got it, you no longer want it. So what's going to happen is you're going to end up losing it in however that natural way is, whether it's forcefully or on your own volition, or it's going to just happen naturally without you having to do anything. And then you're going to be like, oh, well, how did I lose it? You know what I mean? Or you're, like I said, you're willingly on your own volition just going to give it away because you're going to realize, oh, this is not actually what I want. And this is what happens when you see so many famous people, or not even famous people, just people in general, whether they're famous or whether they've made a lot of money. You see these people get fame and get money, and they're like, yo, I don't want this no more. This is not what I thought it was going to be, you know? And now I know this, and it's crazy because this is kind of the path that it takes people to kind of get to that higher self-awakening to understand and realize what they really want. So it's like the universe says, okay, you want this, you think you want this because you're manifesting from your ego, so I'm going to give it to you. And then that's going to cause you to really actually have your awakening to figure out what it is that you really want. You see how that works? And this is why I don't teach people to manifest their specific person, whoever that is, romantic relationship, an ex-back. I don't teach them to manifest using these terms of, oh, my person is obsessed with me. Oh, my person is, because you're looking outside of yourself for love. You're looking outside of yourself to keep going on. Because at the end of the day, at some point, you guys got to realize at some point, either you or your specific person is going to leave this earth. So what's going to happen if they leave earth before you? Are you not going to be able to continue? Are you not going to be able to go on? Are you going to feel like you can't breathe? You can't breathe anymore. You can't live anymore because you lost that specific person. This is why I never, from thinking back, this is why I never teach people I recommend those types of affirmations, because to me it's in my opinion it's a lower level of manifesting. Instead, when you're trying to constantly get and say, oh, I need this person obsessed with me, that's not self-loving to you. That's not showing you are really worthy. Because if you believe you are really worthy, if you know that you really are love and a being of light and a beacon of light, and you mean well unconditionally, and you really start to look at your self-concept and your self-love in the right way, not in a narcissistic way, not in a hubris, arrogant way, then you will know that, okay, I am good enough. I am worthy. I don't need affection from this person over here, or that person over here to make me feel worthy. I no longer need that. And so then the ironic thing about that is in turn, it's going to allow you guys to raise your vibration naturally when you start to think that way and you start to believe like, you know what, I am good as I am right now. You know, I am getting better every day. I may not be where I want to be, but I am getting better every day. And you start to kind of take on that new thought form, that new identity of, you know what, I don't necessarily need to get love from this person. I don't necessarily need to get X, Y, and Z over here. I'm good as I am, and I understand it's coming, it's on its way, it's here now. And you start to go general instead of going specific, because some people, they don't have the ability to go specific with their manifestations because it causes too much anxiety putting a time frame on it. Causes too much anxiety to say, oh yeah, I'm gonna da-da-da-da-da with this person. Oh yeah, they're gonna do this by my birthday, and we're gonna da-da-da-da by, you know, Easter weekend is coming up. Oh, my specific person is gonna text me by Easter. Yeah, it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen. And then Easter comes and it doesn't happen, and now you're sad. You know, back to square one. You know, go general. You know, and like I said, cut out those affirmations that are constantly have you trying to get, and understand that you don't need that to thrive. Understand that you don't need to say those affirmations in order to manifest a specific person back, because I never said those affirmations. I never said, oh, this person is obsessed with me. This person's constantly thinking about me. This person's constantly texting me. I never did any of that. And I still, when I tested the law out, like Neville says, when I did that, I still was able to manifest a specific person very quickly, in less than a year. It happened. You know what I mean? So don't think that when you see these clickbait titles and people saying that type of stuff, get it in 24 hours, or, you know, get them obsessed with you. Don't think that that's naturally going to happen, because what happens a lot of times is I call that short-term manifesting. It's not sustainable, because you may get what you want in a short period of time. You may get that text message. You may get that call. You may get that meeting, whatever the case may be. But what's going to happen is, because you haven't laid a solid foundation in my opinion, of manifesting and knowing your self-worth and your self-love, you're going to lose it again. So even, and what you guys want is you want something long-term. You don't want to just have your specific person reach out to you for Easter Sunday only. You want to have them reach out to you and be with you for Easter Sunday for the next 5, 10, 20, 30, however many years. That's what you really want. So don't get caught up in the hype of the short term, glitz and glam of, oh, get them obsessed with you. They'll surely text you back at, by day 3 or day 1 or 24 hours or whatever the case. But a lot of these clickbait titles, again, there is a space for that stuff. But there's also a space for how myself is bringing the message, as well as Agnes is bringing the message, as well as a lot of other people in this space bringing the message the way that we bring it. And understand, like I've said multiple times, there is no wrong way necessarily. There are simply ways, and it's up to you to figure out which way necessarily is going to work for you in order to get your manifestation. But from what I've seen, so many people, they get tied down, they get so exhausted from constantly affirming, my person's obsessed with me, blah, 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 blah. And they get so obsessed and so discouraged when they don't get that message, when they don't get that phone call, when they don't get that meeting, or they don't hear back from them, or they're left unread, whatever. I mean, pretty much people that I've worked with, these things never really happen. They only happen when the person is trying to manifest them back from the ego, from a place of lack, and not from a place of true spirituality, higher self, from a place of giving and a place of unconditional love. And once I kind of flip this on with people and I tell them, listen, you're trying to get. Stop trying to get from them and figure out what you're trying to give. And once that finally clicks with the people that I work with, then that's when they start to see huge results in a very short period of time. That's when the text message comes through. That's when the meeting happens. That's when the relationship gets rekindled. All of this other stuff. But when you're constantly trying, you can't, like I tell you guys religiously, you cannot trick the universe. You cannot trick the universe. You cannot, I'm going to say this one more time. You cannot trick the universe. You cannot lie to yourself. You can try to lie to yourself, but your higher self knows what you really need. Not your ego mind, your higher self. So I'm going to wrap this video up because it's getting too long. I didn't even realize it was going to be this long, honestly. But I want you guys to remember, there is a time and a place, for everything. Like I said, I'm not going to bash content creators, or I'm not going to bash the viewers who are in this stage of manifesting their specific person, using those types of affirmations like, oh, they're obsessed with me. But understand, in my opinion, I think there's a better way to do that. And I think that starts with taking the focus and emphasis off of your specific person and trying to get and start to figure out, okay, how can I give? And start to do these things unconditionally from your higher self and not from your ego mind. Because this law of attraction stuff, law of assumption stuff, as I said, it's starting to breed, in my opinion, a level of narcissism. And it's getting to the point to where, in my opinion, there's a fine line between, manifesting the right way and not becoming narcissistic or hubris versus doing it the other way. And I want you guys to do it the right way from the higher self, which is why I don't recommend, when I do it, I don't recommend using those types of affirmations and things like that. All right, guys, it's been another episode. Yours truly, Marv's Room. I'll see you guys next time. You know where, you know when.